I want to welcome everybody to On Air with David Duane, live in the place to be. Yes, yes, yes. Tonight we've got my boy, my brother Sammie, the multi-platinum recording artist, Sammie, and he is in the building. I want to let you guys know one thing though. Such as like the brand new album comes out June 5th. So I need everybody to give my boy Sammie an amazing welcome. He has joined with us. Ladies, we're going to answer all y'all questions tonight, so make sure you put it in the question box. Ebony, you already know what we got going on here, so let's get it. And Sammie,
My guy, what's good, brother?
what's good, my bro? How you been?
I'm blessed. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Listen, thanks so much for coming on the platform tonight. You know, we had to welcome you back.
Of course, man. It's always love, man. You family.
Absolutely. So now I gotta say, first of all, congratulations for being in this business for almost 21 years.
Yeah.
Having an amazing decade last year, and just those 10 years of what that was. When you think about the last decade and coming back and really hitting them strong and getting people to really recognize the amazing things that you were doing, because you were still consistently putting out projects. It's just
Right.
the eyes and the ears weren't there. So now just
Yep.
getting everybody back to your brand, how was that feeling for you?
It's just a moment of redemption. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the best word I could use because I never stopped working. You know, from 2009 to 2016, those 7 years were like the most trying times of my life.
Mhm.
Was releasing a lot of EPs via SoundCloud or YouTube or mixtapes with livemixtapes.com and DatPiff. During that time, we didn't have like the Spotify's and the titles and the Apple Musics. And I felt, I didn't feel overlooked. I understood why there was a disconnect. I went through a terrible departure with my ex-manager, and a lot of people didn't understand that. It wasn't publicized. It was not something I wanted to talk about. So now to finally have the ears and the hearts and the spirits of the people again, and to be recognized and honored for it is a beautiful, humbling, and refreshing thing. And I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? All that work I put in those years, though, it kind of like it's catching up to me, so to speak. A lot of people thought I was chilling. Nah, I was honing in on my craft, my songwriting, my vocal arranging, and tapping into what I felt, was missing in the genre of R&B. And now the music is working again.
Right. So now taking that time a little bit to really kind of focus on what was missing versus what was not missing. How important is that for a brand new artist or an artist that is already out there or any talent that wants to be in the business?
I think you have to understand how like cluttered this music industry is. It's a lot of R&B acts, a lot of hip hop acts. It's just a lot of artists. Period. So what makes you different? What are you gonna bring to shift the culture a little bit? I had to think about that while I was still underground, quote unquote, in R&B. Like to me, everything was about the clubs and the materialistic things. So to me, I think my end was talking about vulnerability and transparency and heartbreak and love and bringing that respect back to the queens that needed it. You know what I'm saying? That's how records like I'm Him and Better and Expiration Date and all these quote unquote new anthems are resonating. Even Tsunami, like that's a classic to people, right? But it's a sex record, but it's not raunchy. It's still clever. It's still sensual. It's still passive aggressive. So I think I challenge every artist to challenge themselves to see what's going to diversify them and allow them to come in and create their own lane. I think that's what's beautiful about me. There's no traffic over here in what I'm doing because there's not a lot of R&B acts that's giving the kind of music that I'm supplying.
Right. And you talked about diversity. A lot of times on my Instagram, I talk about how it is important to have diversity. If you want to be an artist or a brand, you want to show like that you can be more than one.
Right.
You want to give people a mixture. So why do you think that is such a hard thing for people to grasp and they want to kind of stick to one thing versus, just kind of, switching it up a little bit, which is never a bad thing to do.
Well, I encourage all artists to master one thing first.
Of course, yeah.
Because a jack of all trades is a master of nothing. I believe in that, right? So I would say to master one thing and then diversify your portfolio. So for me, I can write songs and sing songs in my sleep. I've been doing it for 21 years. That's easy to me. So now I can branch off and start my candle line. Now I can tap into acting and trying to become a best-selling author one day. But I think a lot of artists fail to realize that we have so many gifts and a multitude of gifts given by God. We don't know how to get it out. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you got to take yourself out of the creative and become a business person also and create a plan, create a blueprint, and then execute. Take that step forward. You can't get to the next degree, on that next level without taking a step forward and venturing. And I think a lot of people I think the most important thing that I've noticed with people, they're afraid to be uncomfortable.
Yeah,
You
I've
know?
noticed that too.
Yeah, I've grown in love with being uncomfortable because that means I'm about to conquer a new feat that I've never, endeavored on because I've never taken that step. So falling in love with the process and less focus on the results, and falling in love with being uncomfortable and less focus on the things that make you comfortable, get you to that next plateau.
Exactly. And that's something that I always talk about. You know, you've got to be uncomfortable with what you do. You've got to constantly be like, look, let me figure out what I need to do that's going to make this brand better, make this sound better, make this
Facts.
look better. Because if your quality does not change over time, people are going to be like, well, why should we continue to invest in something that's not evolving? Like, it just doesn't
Yep.
make any sense.
Yep.
So I appreciate that you're saying that. So now, the Everlasting album. You know, you went on tour with that album and you sold out every single show. Let's take it
That was
back a little
crazy.
bit in that experience because man, we talked about it on the phone, but let's talk about it here and just how that whole tour, experience was from versus, doing like a tour with Tank, which was amazing. We'll talk
Yeah.
about that again too.
Yeah.
But just that experience.
The Everlasting tour, man, that was the first time in a long time that I was nervous musically
Right.
because it was my tour. It was no co-star, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to DeMar Jackson and my sis Kissy Lee for coming out there with me. I was blessed to also give like new talent a platform, but for me to be like the vocal point was very nerve wracking. It's easy kind of, I know with the Millennium Tour 2020, you got myself, Omarion, Bow Wow, Pretty Ricky, Lloyd, etc. We're gonna move tickets. It's a lot
Exactly
of
right.
star power there. But when it's just you, these people are coming out to you. So to see myself sell out my first ever headlining tour, it was the most humbling thing I've ever done, and I think it opened up a lot of eyes, even maybe to the camp of the Millennium Tour, because I wasn't on the first one, to say, oh shit, we might have made a mistake by not bringing him on board. Let's do it on the
Right.
second go
Because
round.
you were
So
very vocal with that.
yeah, yeah. With love and light though. There's no disrespecting
Yeah.
anybody that was on it. I just felt like when you call it the Millennium Tour and you don't have like the first child star of the Millennium, then there's a disconnect. That's
Mm-hmm.
all. So I think I got to really, really. God is the equalizer though, because I think a lot of people also who didn't get me on that first tour, when they seen I was going out on my own, they came to support the Everlasting Tour to quote
Oh,
unquote
absolutely.
get their like Sammie fix, and it just fell into my lap that way. But I'm humbled, man. Like to be able to sell out literally every city for a month straight. I'm super, super humbled, and like I will always cherish that moment in my career.
Right. And I love the fact that even with the Millennium Tour 2020, once that opportunity came up, they actually reached out to you directly. They didn't hit Skino, they didn't
Nah,
hit anybody. They was like, let me hit this nigga right straight in the
yeah,
DM.
they,
So,
yeah.
just that direct contact. Like, how did that make you feel just honestly finally seeing that they were looking at what you were doing
Yeah,
and it all was paying off?
I was actually in the full swing of the Everlasting Tour when that happened. I got a DM from someone in G Squared Events camp. I didn't know if it was like the head, but it was somebody from their team, and it was like,
Right.
yo, just reaching out to see who handles your booking. We could planning something pretty big, and we would love for you to be a part. I had no clue, by the way, like what it was about. I didn't even know there
Right.
was another leg or Millennium 2020 going on. You know what I mean? So I said, thank you for reaching out. Appreciate the love and acknowledgement. Got the info, shot them Skino's information. And then some months down the line, they sent over an offer, of course, and the rollout and the tentative dates at that time. So that's when I understood that, again, the journey is the destination. Just enjoy the process. You know what I'm saying? I don't really cry over spilt milk. I don't focus on things that I can't control. And I'm always, I guess, get it the hard way. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, I don't get the clean hand. I don't get the benefit of the doubt. I always have to prove myself and prove myself and prove
Right.
myself. And in essence, though, that's where the fun lies. I love to prove any naysayer wrong. I love when people don't see me coming because they can't defend it. I love when they think I've already, like, I think when, a lot of people told me my best days was behind me. I'm just
Mm.
now entering my prime. I'm still,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I haven't
Been
written
in
my
your 30s. Yeah.
yeah, I haven't written my best song yet. I haven't done my best show yet. So it's exciting to know I still have a lot left in the tank. And I'm in my 21st year of my career. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. You talked about a little bit about branding, and let's talk about partnership with As I Am and Curls and that whole thing because
Yep.
how important was that being able to just kind of step out and do a little bit of partnership and branding because as a brand and as a talent you should want to do those things versus just doing your traditional PR stuff like that. It's very important to expand your
Yeah.
brand.
That was just by the grace of God. Maybe 2, 3 years ago, I was joking after I got a haircut and a fresh little edge up, and I was like, "Yeah, don't call me now." Slide on my DM, just being silly.
Right.
And that ended up going viral. And from there, as I am, they liked my beard and my wild hair journey I got going on. So they reached out to me. Then I partnered with Curls. Now I just did a full campaign with Maya Organics this year and
With the
last year.
dates, right?
Yeah, we did the virtual social distancing date the other night with a beautiful young lady. That was awesome. Because of COVID-19, I have like something big. We're doing this big shoot where they put me on a billboard in Chicago. Like it's
Oh,
it's
dope.
it's amazing, again, the things that's fallen in my lap. Like I did this hair journey by accident 5 years ago. I was in Tokyo, Japan, and I didn't want to get my hair cut out there. So I was like,
Right.
I'm gonna just grow it. And then my beard just, no matter if I shave it tomorrow, when I wake up in the morning, it'll be like this. So I just
Yeah.
started rocking with it, and it became this look for me where, the lady spoke and it stays. And I think it's good to, again, I wanted to diversify my portfolio. So to make money as a singer songwriter is awesome, but also to get paid because of your style and your hair and your look is dope too.
Right.
We're not doing any shows for the rest of 2020, but I'm still
At
getting
all.
my L checks. I'm still getting checks from my candle line. I'm still getting checks from, my publishing. So it's a blessing again to master one thing and diversify yourself. But as far as the brand ambassador thing, that just fell into my lap being my silly self on Instagram one day.
Right. And I think that it's so incredible that you actually did do that. And now you've got even fans that are coming from those platforms and they're like, I didn't know who Sammie was. Wait a minute. That's Sammie? Oh,
Yeah,
we gotta
connecting the
follow, we gotta
dots.
follow. It
Yep.
like really expands the following. And looking at the numbers and just kind of the analytics, being able to see that and connect with your Sammie lovers,
Yep.
how important is that? Because I know when it comes to like creating this latest project and then the upcoming project as well to follow,
Yeah.
your fans have been very heavily involved, like listening to the track with you in the studio.
Yeah. I'm the personable guy. I'm the relatable guy. I'm the celebrity, so to speak, that you can touch. I hate not hate, but I have a disdain for the artists that. Well, you know what? I can't knock anybody. I just,
Right.
me personally, I want to be able to touch my people, right? Because they created this guy. They created who I am. So, since we're quarantining, I started working on my sixth studio album. Although Such Is Life will be out June 5th, I have time to create again. I have new inspiration. I have new content. And I thought it would be dope this time to let them watch the writing process or let them listen to the
Right.
song a few times when I get out of the studio so they can see, they might have a little opinion. They might have, they like that note a little better. They feel connected to the music. They feel invested in the creative process of it. And that's how I've pretty much made it 21 years is that my fans, for whatever reason, have allowed me to love them and they loved on me as a child, as a
Yeah.
teenager, in my 20s, and now I'm 33 years young. And I understand that's like my secret weapon is the ability to stay relatable and to stay connected. Because a lot of times artists grow apart after all of this time.
Yes.
It's hard to bridge that gap. For me, for whatever reason, I've been dealt like some super grace and mercy by God and my fans again. That every time I have something to sell, every time I have something to present, they eat it up and they support me, and I'm like dumbfounded and so grateful and humbled by it.
Yeah. And it really is amazing because even like when it comes to like the meet and greet experiences with these shows like that, your fans are like there, like
Yeah,
every single step of the way. So I want to shout out your Sammie lovers for,
yeah.
just
Sammie
like
lovers are the
always
best. Yeah,
supporting you. So now, such is life, So did you come up with the process to start this album during quarantine, or is it the follow Sunset album that you started
yeah.
during?
Sunsets is during the
Okay,
quarantine.
okay,
I had 3 months to work on Such Is Life before I left for the Millennium tour, which was
got you.
awesome because I was able to shut off like tour mode and just go strictly creative mode.
Right,
And I was in a relationship when I started it, and out of that as a creative, I needed it. I needed to create, to self heal, and to
yeah,
cope. That's how I cope. If you date me, you become my muse, right? But that's for good or bad. That's for happy or
mhm,
sad. That's for sexy. So like if you listen to the Everlasting project, I was hurt. But in this project, I
right,
was happy. I was happy when we were together, and I'm happy that we're not. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's no bitterness from my end. It's straight love. It was not a good partnership. That's all. Like it was no infidelity. There was no
mm,
trust issues on my end. It's just who I am as a man, who I am as a brand. She didn't
yes,
like. You know what I'm
mm,
saying?
right,
She thought she did. She probably thought she could date me. She probably thought talking to Sammie was cool at first. But once you love me And there's 3 different women that I meet in that one woman. I meet the one that likes me, the one that loves me, and the one that's in love with me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what Such is Life is about. It means it is what it is. Such is life. I just got to roll with the punches. I love who I am. I have some room for improvement, and we all do.
Absolutely.
But I've sacrificed too much to water myself down for anybody.
Yep.
You know, and Such is Life is that project where I think we all should look in the mirror and just be whole first and love unapologetically on ourselves. And then I could pour myself into somebody. If I need you to fill in a mommy issue I have, I'm no good to you. Because now I'm draining you while you're filling me up. So this album is not so much hurt. It's really just my journal about what I was going through. And I think that it's going to resonate with the people. But the mantra, I live by it, man. Like every good experience, every bad experience is necessary to become the person you aspire to be. And that's what Such is Life is for me.
Right. So let's talk about partnerships since you mentioned it. It's very important to, like, when you're in love and in a relationship, that there is a unique partnership and it not go in vain. So how important would you say it is for you to, like, finding the right type of partnership? Because a lot of women are watching. There's a lot of fellas that are watching too. So, finding partnership, how important is that?
Well, that's my new journey rather, when it comes down to love. Like, I don't want a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've had girlfriends before. Like, I don't even, I think we created that. Like, your girlfriend and boyfriend is not one time in the Bible. Like, that's just a way for us to act like we married, but now you're learning each other on the job.
Yeah.
And this is why, and I think it's a territorial thing. You put a title on it so that person, if they step out on you, then it's cheating. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that whole time, y'all wasn't purpose driven. Y'all wasn't talking about your dreams and your aspirations and your 2-year plan and your 5-year plan or the blueprint to get into the plan.
I was just
y'all
talking about that with a friend.
You know what I'm
Gotta
saying?
have that plan.
Yeah,
2-year
where's the
and
plan?
4-year.
Yeah, that's the partnership. See, a partnership, I should already know, like, early in your life, like, okay, this is where you want to be in 2 years? Cool. This is where I want to be in 2 years. You can get a lot hashed out when you both put it on the table. Yeah. Right? Because you might say something that I'm totally not with. I might say something you're not with. Now we're not going to waste anybody's time because we've already put our hands on the table. Or I could look at your plan and tweak mine a little bit to see how we can make it a happy marriage. So I'm looking for partnership and marriage. I don't want no girlfriend, because friends is cool and it's cute, but you lose friends every day. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Friends come and go. Sometimes you think they're a friend and you really need them and they're not there as a friend. But a partner is going to ride for you. A partner going to help you build. A partner going to pour into. A partner going to pray with, pray for. So I learned that in my last relationship. Right. That's what I learned. I learned what I'm not settling for, what I'm not bending on. And I'm sure vice versa. I only can speak for me. But I learned certain things about her I just couldn't marry. And I think maybe she looked at me as it was like, certain things about this guy I can't marry. So cool, let's agree to disagree. There's no hard feelings. I love you. God bless you. And let's not waste any more time. That was it was my shortest relationship, but I learned so much in it because I've been through enough to now I can identify my things that I really just don't have time to mold and groom. You feel me? So partnership is very, very important to me. If you're a great partner, you'll be a great wife.
Mm-hmm. That's so important that you said that, because I try to tell people, like, if you're going to be in a partnership, it has to be for a marriage, children, and a long-term situation. It just can't be we're going to be here for 3 months and a divorce. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes they just find that they were not good enough for each other and they started good as friends and they needed to stay. They asked in the friend zone.
I learned that with my last relationship. Awesome friends. Sucky boyfriend and girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing more, nothing less. Like, we just weren't compatible once we took it to the romantic side.
And sometimes it's okay to, not be compatible. So getting the inspiration for Friend Zone. I love the record. All the ladies love it. So let's just talk about, that record, how you kind of really were able to apply real life situation to it.
Yeah, man. Shout out to one of my best friends. I have like 4 besties that's like, they're women though. Like, I understand women, of course, way more than I do a man. So this is a best friend. We've never stepped out of bounds romantically. We never crossed that barrier. There's always been like a genuine love. If she's going through something, she can call me morning, noon, and night. I'm going to give her my unbiased opinion. Sometimes she's not going to like it, but it's the harsh truth, and it's coming from a place of love. And vice versa. She's not going to let any girl just come into my life and treat me any kind of way. Exactly. You know what I mean? She's going to roll her eyes if I take the girl back, knowing I said I wasn't. Like, this is the kind of relationship we have. So a lot of people see that and they think that we're supposed to be together. Right. Maybe, again, if we cross that line, we lose the purity and the foundation of our honest friendship. You know what I mean? Like, I can watch her get married and be genuinely happy. She can watch me get married and be genuinely happy. So sometimes it's best to not take it out of the friend zone. So I wanted to write about it because people remain in the friend zone sometimes for different reasons.
Yeah.
Sometimes the other party don't feel the same. So now you just made it a little awkward when the girl is like cool with you being a homie and you like, nah, but I want to be more than a homie. So everyone could relate, and I felt like that was a good segue to merging into the album Such Is Life. I wanted to give a record that everyone, to some shape, form, or fashion, has experienced. Everybody's been friend zoned some kind of way.
Oh yeah, I'm still being friend zone at 27, and I'm like, why?
You know what I'm saying? We all been there. Yeah.
Yeah, and let me tell you something, Sammie. I noticed that the album was coming when I started to pay really close attention to the aesthetic of the artwork. I was like,
yeah,
this nigga Sammie ain't slick at all.
Yeah. I literally hit my man. Shout out to Chang at Empire. Even for the artwork, I'm so excited about it because I said I wanted to release a few singles before the album, but they're all like cohesive. If you look at Friend Zone and the color wave, the black and yellow I'm going with, it's a puzzle. You know what I'm saying? So I'm giving you pieces of the puzzle before I give you the entire puzzle June 5th. But it's a beautiful, beautiful project about love, about pain, about healing, about closure. My first intro record, it's my favorite record. It's called Closure.
I just want to say, can we talk about that record?
Yeah, it's just my favorite record on the album. 2 exes ago, we ended on the worst of terms, and I hate that because I'm an empath, man. I rather, at least with my ex, the recent one, it wasn't a good fit, and I wasn't. You know what I mean? Just is what it is. That one, the one before her, I was like madly in love. I was forcing it. She was forcing it. Wow. That's how we ended up going together for so long. I was a stepdad and I was attached to the child and I didn't want to let that relationship go.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to let go once you
got
into like, damn, we can't, but we have to.
It was a sad thing. And I used to believe that closure is a scam because that one last drink or that night out or that invite or answering that text can lead to you staying in a toxic situation. Yeah. So we went a year, a little over, cold turkey. Like, we ended on some bad words and some bad terms, and it was like F you, and it was like F you too. And I never liked that, though. I wasn't at peace with it. But I felt it had to be left broken because if we try to make it peaceful, we're going to end up back together. So one day she texts me, and as soon as she texts me, and mind you, a whole year has gone by, I'm like, oh, shit, it's about to be bad again, right? Yeah. So I said a prayer, and it took me like 3 days to reply, and I finally said, what's up? And she was like, listen, I'm not trying to disrupt your peace, but I have something I want to send you. You don't even have to reply to it. You don't owe me no closure, but I need it for myself. And I let her send it, and I read it, and it was everything I needed her to say. Wow. Because then it led me to saying things that she needed from me. I apologized and acknowledged some wrongdoings. She let it out. She took some accountability for some things that had transpired. And now we cool. Like, now it's love. I can check on her, and she's in a whole nother relationship, happy. I'm single, like, searching my partner, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And we could talk about that together. So that's my favorite record because up until she sent me that text, I was a guy that I'm like, F closure. Like, life goes on. You know what I mean? I don't need any closure. I don't need to bring it full circle. But now I realize in some cases, it might be a rare occasion, closure is necessary. Yeah. It's my favorite, it's my favorite record. And I thought that would be the dope intro record. So when you hear it, I promise it's going to make you start over like 5-10 times because it's just an emotional, sing my heart out record, Yeah. Full of content.
And I think it's so important that you were able to get that closure. You both actually gave each other that closure. Yep. A lot of times in relationships, even when it was such a really good thing, or if it was an all right thing, there's never closure. You're always searching. You're like, damn, I wonder if. And I've gone through situations too where I was like, I wonder if. But then it's like once you get that moment of looking at yourself, sometimes you're like, you know what? Maybe the closure is actually within me, and there was something that needs to be done within myself.
And they say time heals all. So one thing I do love that we did, we gave each other that space. And mind you, we didn't get closure until a year and some change down the line. But I changed in that year. I've channeled myself. I looked at my wrongs and was like, you know what? I could have said this, could have did that differently. She did the same thing. We both did some self-work. And that's why we were able to have an adult, peaceful, respectful conversation from love. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I respect her for actually, like, she initiated it. She's the bigger person. You know what I'm saying? In the song, I talk about that. Like, I was too prideful. I was too, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I I'm not reaching out. She should.
Yeah.
And that was very, very big of her to do it, because had she not have done it, that song would have never existed, and we both were still internally, maybe we didn't know it or not, needed that closure from one another.
Yeah. So what's your advice to an individual who needs to seek closure, but their pride is in the way of seeking it?
See, with this song, now, it's a dangerous record because sometimes some things are better left broken as is.
True. Absolutely.
Remember I said that I was a firm believer of closure being a scam, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if it's something you really, really feel you need, then I would say go on a spiritual journey with self, you know what I'm saying? And figure out with self, ask God for clarity. Ask God, should I send this text? How should I send it? Or should I call, because texts don't have tones? And
True.
you know what I mean? You might want to rehearse your spiel to make sure you're not coming from a place of hurt and anger. Like when we did finally converse, there was no blame game. There was no you did this, you said that. It was not that. It was she had the floor. I had the floor. Good embrace. I love you. Thank you so much for saying this and doing this for me. And it was love. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
love.
amazing. So now let's talk about keeping faith and spirituality. I know that is a big thing for you. Being how important is it really to just kind of follow that while being in the business, because it can get discouraging from time to time.
I mean, my spirituality is everything. You know, without that balance and without that foundation, you know, I'm nothing. I've gone through the trenches in this business, and my mom, my pops, my siblings, or girlfriend at the time couldn't save me, but God is the one that brought me through. So, for me, man, if you don't have, and I don't put religion on nobody, but I just, I don't care who you pray to, you know, just believe in a higher power and the maker of this earth and this universe that we reside in. It's imperative. If it wasn't for God, there would be no tours and a resurrection, quote unquote, of the Sammie career, because I was trying it my way. You know what I mean? I was drowning and partying and drowning with women, trying to cope with what I was going through, when all I really had to do was forgive the person who wronged me. For myself, I was thinking like, nah, if I forgive him, then he get away with it. No, you have to forgive to be out with the old, and then to make room for the new blessings. These are things that I've learned the hard way, so that's why I'm so vocal in my interviews. So there's somebody that can take certain things and certain gems and put it into their story and their life and their livelihood. And it starts with your spirit. We're just spirits first. This body, you know, this shit dies, but the spirit lives forever. And if you truly believe in that concept, I do. I think, you know, to put it into like an analogy, why do you think we cry when someone dies? It's in our spirits to be immortal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we are immortal. The spirits live forever. So the flesh dies. And since we don't die and come back, last I checked, only Jesus did that. We cry. We feel cheated. We feel like we didn't get enough time. So if you really believe in the spirit, then that's the first thing you should be sharpening. So it's important. Without my spirit aligned, I'm just an aimless soul walking around this earth, confused.
Yeah. I try to tell people you literally have to follow your faith, and you have to have, spirituality within your life, because if you're not going in the right direction, you can always turn to God, in anything. And he will give you the guidance.
Amen.
And
that's a word.
Is
That's a word.
So when you found figured out what your purpose was, what was that feeling? What was that experience?
Bumping my head, doing it my way. One day I literally looked up to God in my neighborhood. I live in the woods kind of, and I got a nice view of the stars and the moon and things I appreciate. And I was like, all right, God, you got it, because I've dug myself a bigger grave than I already was in. I was making my life worse trying to do it my way.
Right.
I felt like a weight was lifted, because now I realize that our only duty on this earth is to spread love. That's it. Because God is love. So if you're spreading love, you're spreading godliness. You know what I'm saying? You're allowing people to see God in you in a human form. Everything outside of that is extra. Literally.
Yep, it is extra.
If you're blessed to pay your bills doing something you love to do, or if you have a 9 to 5, or if you're in school, all that is extra credit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But your only duty is to serve people. If every day you wake up and just serve people for the rest of your life, you've done your duty. So that's a simple life. We made it hard by trying to get millions and trying to get the mansion and the yacht and seeing 30 different countries.
Extra. Yep.
That's if that consumes your mission in life, now that's why you'll never be happy. But if you just wake up trying to make other people happy, you'll understand that that's all life is about, and everything else is extra credit. That's dope. So now when I go to my crib and I drive my Jeep, I don't have no like X6 outside and my doors don't fly up. Nah, I'm cool with my Jeep. I'm cool with my $200,000 crib. Do I want more? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But everything outside of that is extra credit, and that's I feel so free. I'm chilling. I don't stress over the things that other artists stress about.
Right.
I'm not gonna ever kill myself. You never have to worry about that on my poorest of days. I've already went through it. I'm never gonna do drugs. I could have been that guy. You know what I'm saying? So now that I've made it out without ever selling my soul and losing my mind, I try to simplify people's lives. Like, just serve people, do right, be good, shed light, and then extra credit will come to you.
Right. And I
It's
think the
coming to
fans,
me.
yeah. And I think the fans can appreciate the light that you're shedding. So let's get to some of their questions before we keep going, because I want to talk about a little bit more about entrepreneurship and business.
Okay.
So now let's get to some questions. Let's see what we've got. All right. So who are some of the people that you look up to as far as inspiration is concerned?
Both of my parents. Angela, that's my mom, that's my baby, and my pops, you know what I'm saying, that's my king. The best thing they've ever done to me is introduce me to God, and they never came up with excuses. They sacrificed a lot of their dreams and aspirations to make sure me and my siblings had what we had, you know? So watching them with that type of drive and the level of focus, even when, they divorced at 4, but it did never deter them from being great parents to all of us.
Yeah.
You know, no one held the child as a pawn. You know what I mean? So I respect their code of ethics and morals that they've instilled in me. My mentor now, Troy Taylor. I've known Troy. I met Troy when I
We got to talk
lost
about Troy.
everything. Yeah, that's my pops, man. I lost everything in 2009. He was going through a terrible divorce in 2009. Ironically, but not ironically, we met in church. And he said he was a Sammie fan since I was a kid. I knew the name, but didn't know he was the Troy Taylor who found Troy.
Right.
We went out to eat, and that's become my dad ever since. You know, he kept me sane and actually told me 8 years ago, that I would be here. He was like, I don't know how, but you're going to be back in the arena, son. I don't know how, but the world will remember you. And I'm like, nah, it's ugly right now, you know?
Right.
So when I didn't see the light, he was my light. So those 3 individuals are the people I always love and admire and, give my last to, because they were there and they'll always be there. They're like, my guardian angels on this earth.
Right. So what things would you say that you learned from working with Troy? Because we actually spoke to Troy just the other day, and I literally kicked myself in the foot because I forgot to ask him about you. But what were those?
I saw that on your page today, actually, that you interviewed Troy a couple days ago.
Yeah. So what were those things that you learned from Troy, or you still continue to learn from him?
I mean, he raises you as a creative to be an animal in a good way. Like, I don't need anybody to create a record.
Right.
I used to need somebody to, like, is that good, or what harmonies do you hear, or write the second verse for me. Like, he told me, he was like, Sammie, you have no deal, right? Your manager took all your money. You have no budget, so all these people are not going to answer the phone and make you beats and help you record yourself. Learn it on your own. Become self-sufficient. Give yourself a hit. And that used to piss me off, because I'm like, man, you're Troy Taylor. Like, you got Grammys. You can do it. You know what I'm saying? And I'll sing it. You can write it, and I'll sing it. He wasn't impressed by my gift. He was like, you could sing, but you could sing better. Oh, that was a cool lyric, but you can be more clever. He really was not moved. You know what I'm saying? And that used to piss me off internally, but bring out the greatness in me.
Exactly.
And so much so now I'm too independent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need. He was like, son, when you gonna come over and record with me? I'm like, nah, just send me a beat, pops. I got it. Because I've gotten too used to being by myself now. So now from 2009 all the way to 2020, that's 11 years now of not needing somebody to say, do this, sing it like this, do it like that. He taught me how to be self-sufficient. And for my records that have kind of redeemed my career and resurrected my life, it's because of him. He taught me how to sit at a computer. It used to take me 2 hours to write a song. Now 25 minutes. It used to take me 2-3 hours to record a song. Now an hour and a half. He has a way of. Trey's the same way. I watch Trey songs. I'm like, oh shit, I need to step my shit up, because he came under that Troy Taylor wing. He was with Troy since he was 14.
Right.
So Troy has this ability to just make you tap into your greatness.
Yeah, and that's amazing. So when you think about these next up and coming projects, when are you going to decide to get the hell back in the studio with them? Because that's what I want to know. That's what the fans want to know. When
Yeah.
are you getting back in the studio with them?
Well, I've already gotten some production from Troy Taylor for the Sunsets album. I actually
Okay.
shared a little bit on Instagram that the fans love this record called 90s R&B. Troy Taylor
Okay.
produced it. So
Cool.
we're back in. And Trey just re-released the Anticipation series, which I'm featured on with She Ain't My Girl, that record.
Right.
And a lot of the fans are ready for me and Trey to get back. So whenever I get to LA and get out of this COVID and me and Trey can actually just be around each other and feel the vibe, because that's how we've always created. We was always in the studio, or we'll go to the gym and then take it back to the studio to create. So once I get back around his circle and vice versa, and we can share a space, I think me and Trey would definitely collab again.
Right. Because Sunset is let's talk about the concept of Sunset and that whole project too.
It just came by being quarantined in. I didn't think I was going to be able to have time to create new music because initially it was Such Is Life, June 5th. Finished the tour, the Millennium tour in May. May 10th would actually be the last date if this happened. And then I was going to go on my solo tour in the fall. So I didn't think I would have time to create another project. But now we do have time. So Sunsets, the reason why I called it that, it's the ending of something, but also the beginning of something. So, after the sun comes down, the moon comes up, and then the sun rises again. I think that's a beautiful way to view life. Like we're so focused on like too far out instead of just living in the moment. And it's my favorite part of the day. Like that's the day I sit on the porch, drink a brew, and I thank God for the day. I watch birds be birds, trees be trees, and nature be nature, and it brings me this peace and solace and serenity that I need. Yeah. And that's where I'm at. I'm in a sunset realm right now. Like a lot of people tripping out because we're COVID. I'm not. I'm flourishing in this shit. I'm busy as hell in this shit. I've tapped into a lot of things that I wouldn't have tapped into if God didn't put the world on pause. My heart goes out to those who are sick and unfortunately losing their lives. You know what I mean? Yeah. That kills me. That kills my spirit. But as far as having like the blessing of time to just, I would have never written these 14, 13 records I have in my catalog for Sunsets.
Right. And you're getting back to poetry too, right?
Yeah, I tapped into poetry. I used to write poems all the time. I haven't written a poem in years until we got locked up in the house. So I'm in a sunset
feeling getting back to poetry? Because, I write poetry myself, so I know how important it is to, be therapeutic and like just be able to release in that type of area versus,
that's the dope part. Like I don't write poems like to share with the world per se, right? So when I did it, the 2 times I have let it out on the internet, it went crazy and it inspired other people to write rebuttals to what I was talking about. And that's what you're supposed to do, though. So I felt like a little guilty for keeping that gift inside of me for so long. Like I could do more than just sing songs and write songs and perform. And that's just another way to reach the people. So I owe it to myself in this season as I'm preaching, like being of service, to utilize all my creative abilities to give to the world. So it felt good and to be inspired to do that because I was actually nervous to share that side of me.
Yeah. And it's good that you were brave enough to share your vulnerability. And that was actually a question that somebody actually wants to know about being vulnerable. So being vulnerable as a man, we don't get a chance to hear so much in R&B now, but we hear it a little bit more. How important is that for a man to just be vulnerable in their music and not be like, oh, I gotta be tough guy type
of I'm big on balance. So, I'm emotional, but I don't do well with disrespect, and I'll smack somebody in the face if need be. You know what I'm saying? And I'll pray to God for forgiveness later. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Florida, so my Florida boy side is a little wild. So it's just the way I'm wired, though. My mom will tell you I've always been uniquely emotional, uniquely sensitive, and I don't shy away from it. If anything, it's my strong suit. It's the reason why I'm able to create the music I'm able to create. Because I'm not afraid to go there. I feel macho, saying everything that men say amongst each other in the barbershop, but we don't feel masculine enough to say it to a woman because we looked at as weak. I don't have that. I don't have that stigma against me. You know what I'm saying? I'm still a lion. Just because I'm in my feelings. Feelings. I'm a human being. We've all have emotions. You know what I'm saying? If anything, there should not be a disconnect because I'm overly expressive. That's how I look at it. So I've never had that stigma of if a man cries or if a man is in his feelings, he's weak. I think he's strong to be able to put himself out there. And it works musically for me and it works as a person. Like my friends like that I give that side because so many men don't. And that's why so many men are broken and so many men are hurt And so many men are weak because they feel they can't cry. Sometimes they just need to cry.
Yeah.
Sometimes they need to just be like, yo, it's hard being black. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's it.
Sure.
I'm a black
Sure,
man.
yeah.
I was nervous when the cops got behind me because I know that shit can go left and I get killed. Like,
Yeah, sure.
the last girl I dated was biracial. She was white and black, right? And real quick, I was in the crib and I had my wallet in my book bag. I took the wallet in my book bag and put it on my passenger seat. Mind you, she was like, why are you putting it in your passenger seat? I was like, well, it's like midnight. I got to ride home by myself. I got a black vehicle. I'm black. I got braids, a beard, tattoos.
Correct.
I'm
Yep.
like what they fear.
Yep.
So
You're
if they
being
pull me
cautious,
over,
too.
at least I could be like, hey, my wallet is right there in the passenger seat, sir. Please don't shoot my brains out. And she
Right.
really was like, damn, you think like that?
You have to.
I had to really
especially
process
these
all this, and all
days.
I was doing was driving home. Yeah. So I'm okay with talking about that. I don't like cops because they don't like me. I don't have anything against cops. They just kill people
Correct.
that look like me every day. So it's and I like to be the poster boy for something different. Maybe if Sammie is bold, other kings will look at myself and be like, you know what, I can be bold too, and I can cry, and I
Yeah.
can be expressive, and I can be emotional, and I'm still a man at the end of the day.
Yeah, and
That's me.
I love the fact that you said being bold and being that honest. So we have recently seen these deaths that have been going on within our culture,
Yep.
and you've kind of been vocal about it. So kind of give us your thoughts on how everything is going now, especially while we're dealing with COVID-19. It's kind of weird that we're seeing these things going on right now, even
A
still.
young king can't jog in peace,
Right.
and that happened in my state. You know what I'm saying? I live in Georgia. And I jog. I jog to this lake by my crib. So because I'm jogging and I'm black, I got to worry about being literally hunted down. And you shot me with a shotgun in my, from what I look like the one in the torso is the one that took him out. Like, that
Right.
shit's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? I never bought a firearm until 2 weeks ago because of things like
Really.
this. Yeah, like now it's a little war if they come this way with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
If that's the case, because y'all just went to jail. By the way, y'all been chilling since y'all killed this guy. That shit hurts my
Right.
soul, man. That hurts my heart, and there's no way for us to avoid it. He wasn't any harm to anybody. He was a black kid jogging,
Yeah.
unarmed. You feel me? That could easily be me. That could easily be my little brother. I should not have to fear when my little brother goes his separate way to go to work. I'd be terrified for him. He's 24. I
Yeah.
hug my little brother. I'm like, I love you. Conduct yourself, articulate, remain calm. Like, I have to give him this whole fucking spiel because he's black.
Yep.
The white kids, they're not getting that same dialogue when they leave the house. It's bye, have a beautiful day, see you tonight for dinner. We have to have a whole breakdown on how to be respectful and mannerable, and sometimes you get killed if you comply. So that shit's disheartening, you know what I'm saying, to just be black. Sometimes just being a black man is hard. So we should be able to verbalize that because we keep it so bottled up. It's hard to keep your temperament in check when it's a white man with a gun calling you boy and nigger with the ER at the end. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be like, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, I'm sorry. Nah, it kills your inner man. It kills your pride.
Yeah.
And then I've been holding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might unleash and act out of character. So I was brought up a different way, man. I'm wired a different way. I talk a different way. I walk a different way. And I love how I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
You've always been unapologetic, and that's what
I can't
a lot of
be,
people like about you.
Yeah, I cannot be nobody else but Sammie, man. That's it.
Right. So now these candles, the fans want to know because they love it. Like, how did you get to this point of wanting to create the candles? Because you love burning candles to, kind of help with meditation and, just keeping your spirituality grounded. So just coming up with the candles, how important was that for you?
Man, it fell into my lap again. My bro Troy Gunn, my business partner, my road manager, he actually is he's a part owner in the company Pop and Pearl, like the establishment in Conyers, Georgia. So he wanted me to do something and was like, yo, I'll pay you to do a soft opening for me. I'm like, hell no. I was like, I'll do that for free. I was like, but let me do me a solid. Let me create my own candle and see if my fans will buy into it. I'm a big candle lover. Why not become a competitor in the candle field? Then it just made sense. I'm an R&B singer. That's what we do. We like candles. You know what I'm saying? To set the mood for women. Every studio session you come to, I got somebody else's candle I'm investing in. Why not take time out to educate myself?
To have your own.
Of my own. And I'm big on ownership. Where's the next Diddy? Where's the next Jay-Z?
Yep.
At Pop and Pearl, we presented the idea. They was excited for me to come on board. We got some lawyers on the phone, started talking numbers. I got to learn about the different waxes and the wicks and how paraffin is bad for you and all these different things and the 10 ounce and the 16 ounce bottle. And graphics and all this stuff. It was just
Mm-hmm.
the passion that I have for music is the same passion I put into my candles. And I picked out the scents. I spent hours upon hours mixing different essential oils until it felt right to me, tested them out, and they're a huge success. And now that's a new passion of mine, as well as another realm of revenue. I'm big on generational wealth. So sometimes
Absolutely.
I'm making money in my sleep by tapping into another passion and creative side.
Yeah, that's so important that you mentioned wealth, continuous
Yeah,
wealth and longevity, because a lot of people don't understand that you have to create things that are going to be endless and different multiple streams of revenue that's going to help you
yeah,
in the long term. And I love the fact that you were able to, even once you decided to continue to pump out this music, you
yep,
partnered with Empire,
yep,
and you were like, listen, I'm going to be the boss of my own company. I'm
yeah,
gonna have my team, and
yep.
and you're even looking to retire by 40.
40. Yeah, 7 more
What?
years. I don't want to have to be in the front anymore. I want to play the back. More executive, songwriting,
Right.
manager, like off the scene. I've been in the front since I was 12, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I can't wait to just, I want a family. I want to get married. Like my happy
Yeah.
ending is coming to an end, and at the same time, just beginning. So, 40 years old, man. I'm 33. I got 7 more years to be in the front.
Mhm.
And then ideally, I would like to leave before it's my time. I want to leave with fans saying, damn, I think he still got 2, 3 more albums in him.
Correct.
Opposed to, I'm forcing myself on the people. That shit will kill my soul. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see a lot of artists, they just don't have it like they used to. But
Hmm.
since this is all they love and are chosen to know, they keep forcing it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I'm already in love with candles. I'm already trying to become a bestseller author this year. I'm already looking into real estate. Like, I
Okay.
have, yeah, I have time to fall in love with something else. I want a King Up Foundation where I mentor young kids, little boys that didn't have a father or a big brother to look up to, and help
Right.
them, make the right decisions and get involved in extracurricular activities. I already have all these ideas. Now I'm putting it into motion now. So by the time it's time to say bye to music, from as Sammie the artist,
Artists.
I always write, I always mentor, I always help other acts get to where I'm at or surpass me. But Sammie the artist, I would like to say bye at 40. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
And
One
I think
last little hoorah.
and I think it makes sense. I had talked to Tank a couple weeks ago, and he was saying the same thing too. That he is looking to step back as an artist and kind of
Mm-hmm.
do things more in the on the back end, because with him having a label, he's just like, look, let's do this. Or when it
Yep.
comes to acting, let me focus on
Yep.
this. And you're looking to doing some acting with this upcoming series, right? This being a pilot.
Yeah. Yeah. We shot a pilot for this show called Misunderstood in LA in November. I played this guy named Noah from Carson, California. And I was able to, I took acting class. Like, I was actually thrown into the fire. My beautiful, amazing publicist was like, "You
Mm-hmm.
have the role." I'm
Shout
like,
out to
"What?"
Monique.
Yeah, Monique Jackson. She was like, "You have the role. You're perfect." I'm like, "Nah, but I've never acted a day in my life." She was like, "I
Right.
trust you to sell it," and I like that kind of pressure. So I got an acting coach for like a month and went out to LA, and I got this packet that I had to learn that was like this thick. You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Wait, do I have to learn it all, or we just?" She was like, "Yes, all of it." So that became a daily routine where I'm not playing the Xbox. I'm really like, I unplugged my Xbox and
Mm-hmm.
unplugged my computer and just studied these lines. And now I have the bug to become a good actor one day and then hopefully a great actor. And you can do that forever too, So,
Absolutely. That's
um,
longevity for real.
yeah, you can be 85 years old and still doing your thing. So, I'm excited, man, to challenge myself to be where I want to be in 7 years musically. And I'm excited to see where I'm at with the other vast array of things that I see myself doing.
Right. So, what type of artists would you want to sign under you and to manage? I know that's probably a big question that no one's probably asked you, but I'm gonna go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's a good question. I think a female artist. Females are
Okay.
killing the game, particularly our R&B artists, because I'm able
Yeah.
to tap into what women love from a male's perspective. So I can definitely, from a woman's perspective, like hell yeah, that's an anthem.
Hmm.
Um, I used to want to find a little me, but unfortunately, like the world is so not the same. There's no such thing as puppy love. You know what I'm saying? Because these kids
At
grow
all.
up at 12, 13. Like in 12, 13, I didn't have the
These kids are
access.
grown.
Yeah, yeah. They're exposed to too much. So unfortunately they
Right.
miss out on the innocence of what I got to experience. So I don't even understand who a 12-year-old would sing to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're not already a little corrupt and indulging in worldly things, there's no audience for you, unfortunately. So I
Yeah.
don't see signing a 10 or a 12-year-old act as a smart business move. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely can do an R&B singer, a woman, because they're killing the game. I'm both hip hop and R&B, and then I just
Yeah,
understand women. And then probably a rapper because they're easiest to market because hip hop is the number one genre.
super.
Yeah, those would be my first two investments.
Definitely. So what female artists and rappers and producers would you like to work with that you have not worked with already?
I think Janae Aiko is like my spirit animal. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
think if me and Janae got into the studio, we can create something crazy. And her last album is beautiful. I just downloaded Kaylani's new album. She's dope.
Fire.
A dream come true would be Brandy. Like she's the vocal Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like she's dropping a new album soon too. I'm so excited.
Yep,
She
in
posted it
July.
today. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like B7, right? Okay.
Uh-huh.
So those are like my three women off the rip. As far as hip hop is concerned, actually I rock with Thug. I know people probably wasn't expecting me to say Young Thug, but
Mm-hmm.
he's always been a rock star in his own thing. And
Yes.
if you hear all the new people like the Gunners and the Little Babies and even Roddy Ricch, you can tell how influenced they were by Young Thug. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now everyone sounds the same to me, and that drives me
Completely.
crazy. But Thug is the originator of that wave that these other melodic rappers are doing. Of course, Drake, because if I was a rapper, I think I would be Drake. He's
Yeah.
emotional, oddly emotional. I get it.
I can see that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very Drake. I'm a big Drake. He can do no wrong, you know. Even he's so great that even music that's just okay or good is still great because he's that amazing in his gift. So, from a rap standpoint, give me Thug and definitely give me Drizzy.
Yeah. So what are you thinking about like as far as like these verses series is going on? You know, we got the one with Jill Scott and Erica
Yeah,
Badu tomorrow.
tomorrow I'm locked
But it
in.
started out with producers and songwriters, but now it's kind of going into artists. Would you want to be a
Yeah.
part of that as well?
For me, I've seen myself like some people was like you and Mario should battle and things of that nature. I
Mm-hmm.
think for me, my problem with that, right? I know it's called
Right.
versus. I watch it as a fan. It's not a
Exactly.
competition. I said this in my last
No
interview.
competition.
Yeah, it's just to appreciate the catalogs and the